guys, it's Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I'm here with a fun video. I was tagged for the first time as a channel, which was very exciting for me. I was tagged by SilverWolfReads for the series I'm unsure about continuing tag that she created, which was so sweet of her. So I am here to make my video, and it is not the books that you are saying you're never going to read. These are ones that you have read or want to read, but you've got reservations for some reason. So I have a couple series that I've already started, and then some that I have not begun yet that I'm going to share with you, which is why, like, I don't know if you can tell, but my whole TBR shelf up here is pretty much empty because they were mostly TBRs. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with one that I am unsure of because I'm not sure how much I loved the books. And that is Red Queen and Glass Sword. So I believe it is called, though, like the Red Queen series. And this is by Victoria Aveyard. And I found myself really enjoying these books. I read through them, and I think when I started this series, they were both out. So I was able to like back to back those two. And I know it's not the end. So I know that there's more books coming. It's not released yet, so it's not really a concern of mine that I can't, I can't read it right now, even if I wanted to. I realized just how many like super stereotypical like plot lines were in this and how predictable it kind of got. But in general, I still did enjoy the magic system and the world and the characters. So I'm gonna go forward with it. I just don't want it to start going downhill, I guess is what I'm getting at. So I did enjoy these two books. I know that there are some mixed reviews on them just because they are pretty stereotypical and like tropey, but I did enjoy them. So we'll see when the third one comes out. I'll probably wait, let some reviews come out, and then go ahead and read. And then the next series that I have reservations about continuing is the Lunar Chronicles. I have read Cinder of the Lunar Chronicles, which is the first one, and then I have Cress and Scarlet. I don't have Winter yet, but I'm like ready to keep reading. I at least have the next two, so I can keep reading. And I haven't been compelled to actually pick them up and finish them. And I've heard great things about Cress. I've heard, okay things about Scarlet. I think I've probably heard more about Cress. The reason that I'm so hesitant to pick those up is that I didn't love Cinder. Like, I didn't dislike Cinder, but I didn't love Cinder the way so many people seem to love it. And I'm not sure if I'm missing something or if I just knew too much about it before I started reading them and had listened to too much hype. So I don't know if I just need to let a little time pass before I keep going on with the series. I'm intrigued to see how the characters meet up again. I'm intrigued to see kind of where the plot line does go, but I'm worried that I'm just not gonna like it as much as everybody else, and that somehow I'm missing what makes it so enjoyable, and I don't wanna, have another like meow meow kind of a read. So we'll see. If you loved it, let me know down below if I should keep going or if these kind of get better. Did anybody else have reservations about the first book? And the next one is one that I'm nervous about because if you saw my October TBR or my September wrap-up, you know my thoughts on Sweet Evil. And this is the Sweet series, I believe, by Wendy Higgins. I read this one and I liked it enough that I went ahead and I did buy the other two books. So I have Sweet Peril and Sweet Reckoning, and Sweet Peril I think I will probably add to my October reading list, like my October TBR, because I will be doing Spookathon. So that video will probably be going up before this one. So I'll link that up above. I think I might be able to read this before Spookathon starts, which is in like a week. The reason that I'm kind of hesitating on finishing out this trilogy, this one was good, but it definitely left room for getting really like kitschy and super overdone and just becoming super predictable. So I'm hoping that it performs because I did enjoy the first one. I just think that it has potential to kind of go towards lazy writing and just get easy and predictable. And I'm hoping it doesn't because I enjoyed the first book. So I'm hoping that that continues with these two. So those are the three series that I've already started that I'm kind of like, on continuing. I'm sure I will again, but I have my reservations. Now I have some series that I have not even begun yet, and I'm going to tell you why I'm a little unsure and uncertain about starting them in general. And the first one is the Shatter Me series. I do have all of the books. They're up on my shelf. I didn't pull them all down because I would have had way too many books in front of me. This I'm hesitant to start because people seem to love it. Like, super crazy, fanatically love it. And I'm not sure if the hype will live up to it because again, like I said about the Lunar Chronicles series, it was so hyped and I got so excited to read it, and then I read it and was just kind of like underwhelmed. So that's kind of why I'm nervous to get into this world too, is because I know so many people are loyal to it and really, really love it. And I'm nervous that I won't. But I'm hoping I will. Like, I'm optimistic. I'm still going to read it. It's just not jumping to the top of my TBR because I'm nervous that it's gonna like somehow not live up, and then I'm gonna have to like explain myself to people about why I don't love it as much. I also feel like a lot of the people that I've seen that love this book are not necessarily in my age group, so I'm afraid I might have missed my niche for like when this would have really connected with me. But hopefully it's still good. And the same is kind of, you know, kind of the same reasoning for the Lux series. This is by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this is the Lux Beginnings. So this has 2 books in it. This has Obsidian and Onyx, which are the first 2 books of the Lux series. And so this is Lux Beginnings, and then I think there's like a Lux Endings, and if you put them side to side, it's like the chick's whole face. I don't know. This is an aliens, like sci-fi, fantasy kind of a book. This one I'm uncertain about just because, first of all, this is like a hefty 2-book commitment to get into, and I feel like once I start, I'm gonna get kind of stuck in this world, so I need to kind of commit to reading this and then probably getting the next one and just finishing it out. I think that this one's kind of like intimidating because of the hype and because of the size, so I know I've got 4 books ahead of me and I need to, you know, dive into these mammoth books. So we'll see. This has like 780 plus pages, so that's a commitment. And then I have my Sarah J. Maas books, which, believe me guys, I'm gonna get to, but again, very intimidating. So the Throne of Glass series, I know this isn't Throne of Glass, this is Assassin's Blade, which is technically novellas that were published after Throne of Glass, but it is the prequel to Throne of Glass, so I will be reading this first. One of the reasons that I'm uncertain about starting this is 2 things. 1, I feel like I'm gonna love it, and then I'm gonna wanna binge read them. And 2, I don't want to binge read them because I have heard people say, like, I wish I could reread them for the first time, which is how I feel about Harry Potter every single day of my life. I wish I could read them again through fresh eyes. So I don't want to fall so in love that I back-to-back all of these books and then can't re-experience them fresh. I'm kind of waiting until I know that I can keep my reading addiction at bay so I can just kind of read the Assassin's Blade, take a little bit of a break, read Throne of Glass, give myself some time to process, read the next book, and not absolutely binge read them. So that's kind of why I'm uncertain, is I'm trying to still determine the best way to read this series and not have reader's remorse. If you have any tips or tricks or hints or any advice, if you think it's best to just kind of back-to-back them, let me know. If you think that I'll regret that, let me know as well, because I'm still not sure exactly how I want to go about this series. The same can be said for Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses. I have this, I have A Court of Mist and Fury up there. For the same reason as the Throne of Glass series, is that I've heard that people like this sometimes more than the Throne of Glass series, and I don't want to read them too fast and then not have them anymore. I feel like I back-to-backed Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and now my babies are gone. My babies are gone! And if you haven't seen my review yet, click and watch it because, oh my gosh, you guys. And I don't want to have to mourn these worlds sooner than I have to. So I'm almost kind of like saving my favorite treat for last. I'm assuming I'm going to absolutely love these. And that's kind of why I'm uncertain about starting them, is because if I start them, then I have to, by nature, finish them. And I don't know if I want to be done with them yet. Which is exactly the same for An Ember in the Ashes, followed by A Torch Against the Night, which I don't own yet. I only own An Ember in the Ashes. This is by Sabaa Tahir. I have a feeling I'm gonna really enjoy it, and again, it's one of those things where I know I'm gonna get sucked in, I'm gonna want to back-to-back it, and then I'm stuck where everybody else is, which is waiting for the next book, and I hate waiting. I'm not a patient person. So if I just keep putting it off until like the third one is almost out, then I can back to back the first two and go right to the third. I don't know. I just need a game plan for all these books is what it comes down to. Like I need to map out my reading strategy for all these books, because it's not a matter of not getting to these books. It's just like, how do I get to all of it in a reasonable timeline and not regret being done with them so quickly? So that's where I'm at with the majority of these, except for this, because this, guys, I just don't know. And this is the last series that I'm going to talk about getting into and being uncertain about. This is the Grisha Trilogy. This is by Leigh Bardugo. I just finished Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I am not ready to let go of Kaz and Inej and Nina and Matthias and Jesper and Wyland and the crew. I love the Crows and I want them back in my life. I'm still mourning them. I'm reading other books, but I'm mourning them, and I can't read these yet, because once I read these, then that world is really truly gone, and I already can't handle that my crows are gone. And if I can't handle my crows being gone, I certainly can't handle the entire Grisha universe being gone. So I have to space this out, because I'm not okay with that. I'm already not sure what to do with myself. And once these are all done, then they're done. She's not promising anymore. And yeah, I'm not ready to face that. So these are gonna have to wait until I feel like I'm emotionally ready to handle that. And I lied. There's another trilogy. Then I have Mistborn. This is the Mistborn Trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and it's still in the wrapping, so I'm sorry for getting a glare. I've seen, first of all, in some people's bookshelves, these individual books being massive, like super massive. And then I get this trilogy in the mail and it's so tiny. I'm assuming the print on these is like microscopic, so that might be an issue. I might end up having to buy different copies and gifting this to somebody or something. I mean, but they look so cool. Like they're like the old school kind of cover look to them, which I really love. And one of the reasons that I've kind of put off reading this is for the same reason as the others, which is people love this. Like people go apeshit over this series. And I know that once I start it, it's gonna finish, and I kind of have a fear that it's hyped and people have talked about it so much that what if I don't love it too? And then does that mean that I'm like a broken reader? Or did I maybe miss the time frame when this would have been applicable and enjoyable for me, and now I'm at an age where I'm not gonna relate to it as much, or I'm not gonna enjoy it as much? I've got a ton of books that everybody loves, which I'm happy about because great reviews, fantastic. But Cinder really kind of scarred me because I didn't love it as much as everybody else. So now I'm kind of doubting myself, but I'm hoping to get to all of these, and I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised by the majority of them. At least that's the goal. So I have so many books to get through, and almost all of them are a series. And so when you know you have to start a book and then go through the next 3, 4, 5 books, 6 books, it's intimidating. It's intimidating to know that you've got that much reading ahead of you. So right now, I'm really trying to assess my TBR shelves and find a game plan that works for me, whether it be a TBR of like the first of a series, or just trying to map out the best way to read these. So leave me your thoughts below. Should I just binge read through one series? Should I take my time and pace myself through them? Which one should I start with? Like, legitimately, any suggestions? Tell me your thoughts down below. So thank you to SilverWolfReads for tagging me in this video. I was very happy to make it, although I'm now filled with a ton of reader's anxiety, so thanks for that. Again, help me. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button. I will see all of you in my next video, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys in the comment section, because a girl needs all the help she can get. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.